feel like that this guy, your accountant, is not so skilled in that specific case and that complex scenario. You have, for example, multiple sources of incomes from abroad. He's not really convinced, he doesn't really understand exactly, or you have the impression that he doesn't really know how to configure, in which box put these incomes in your tax file return. Hello guys, welcome back to ESENtaxa. Andrea Papito here, and in this video I'm going to talk about how you guys lose money when you are filing your taxes at the end of the year or at the end of the following year. In this video I want to be frank with you. I'm gonna tell you exactly how you should behave in order to avoid losing money with your accountant when you are in Italy, when you are in Belgium, Portugal, Albania, whatever jurisdiction you are living in right now. This is a suggestion that works for any kind of jurisdiction, it's not just for Italy. So 3 ways to avoid losing taxes or losing simply money because you're not behaving correctly, because you're not exploiting your accountant in the best way. If you're new to this channel, ESENtaxa talks about how to optimize your taxation in Italy, in Belgium, Portugal, and Albania. We are the #1 channel that in English language explains the taxation, especially in Italy, and we help people to relocate in this country. And before I had the relocation, we help our client to understand how much taxes they are going to pay in these countries in all jurisdictions we cover with our accountant firms. In the description below the video, you will find our email contact info@esentaxa.com and a link to book with us the first consultation in which we can understand if we can help you and if we can guide you through our consultancy services or online courses. Now, back to the topic. First of all, I realized that during our consultancy activity here in ESENtaxa, a lot of clients have this issue. They only trust one accountant. This is the first reason why you're losing a lot of money, especially when you are talking to him for certain kind of complex situations. And in this specific case, you feel like that this guy, your accountant, is not so skilled in that specific case and that complex scenario. You have, for example, multiple sources of incomes from abroad. He's not really convinced, he doesn't really understand exactly, or you have the impression that he doesn't really know how to configure, in which box put these incomes in your tax file return. And this is the case in which you have to always ask for a second opinion. The second opinion is the most important thing because it allows you to understand if that guy was a little bit confused or if that guy is not skilled on that specific topic, and then you have to look for another accountant or simply another tax consultant that basically can confirm or can basically provide you a different solution that could be even better. And then when you are lazy because you always trust your accountant or because you don't want to feel like hurt his feelings, and then you don't want to change your accountant because of you feel like close to him, he has been your accountant for years. When you lose money, this is not something that you should be worried about anymore, but you should basically try to avoid losing your money because maybe your accountant either is making mistakes or is not applying the correct tax scheme for that specific income or that specific tax regime. The second reason why you're losing a lot of money with your accountant is because you have a meeting with him or you are having basically the tax declaration with him the next following year, prior the tax year that you have received your income. So basically you see your accountant only once. And this is a big problem because when you have a meeting with your accountant, can be online meeting, can be a physical meeting. So you're going to meet him because he wants to transmit your tax file return. And then it's too late. When you transmit your tax file return, all the damage, all the issues, all the errors cannot be fixed anymore in most of the cases because the tax year, it's already passed, it's gone. You cannot fix, you cannot resolve certain problems, you cannot optimize the taxation. The tax optimization, it's something that is not possible anymore. So it's very important that you behave proactively. You have to ask your accountant in advance before the end of the tax year. And normally in most of the countries in the world, the tax year starts from the 1st of January and it ends at the 31st December. So before the 31st December, talk to your accountant and ask him what is the tax to pay before the end of the year, because you are still on time to fix certain things, to find out some extra deduction. In Italy especially, this is the case. You can find some expenses that you have done during the year and we can add those expenses in the tax declaration. And then your accountant with his software can provide you a tax simulation, and you will understand if what you have to pay it's fair, because sometimes a lot of you guys at the end of the year or the following year they discover more taxes they expect to pay. How many of you guys had this issue? How many of you thought, oh, I thought to pay 10,000 euro taxes, then my accountant told me I have to pay 25,000. Come on, it's crazy. But a lot of people are not aware of these things, and the only way to fix eventual error or try to have extra tax schemes, tax deductions, tax detraction, in Italy we have the detrazioni, you can exploit, but you can only apply those deductions. You can purchase something before the end of the year to have a certain kind of detrazioni and reduce your RPF to pay. This is just an example for Italy, but the same for Belgium, Albania, and for Portugal, for other type of tax tricks, tax tips, let's say. So talk to your accountant before the end of the year and ask him tax simulations. The best things you can do is to ask him support every quarter. Okay, every 3 months you talk to him and basically you can ask him to improve the taxation or through the tax simulation see how much taxes can be reduced or what is the behavior. In certain cases, for example, in case of the forfeit regime in Italy, so in certain cases the accountant could tell you stop invoicing, stop working. It makes more sense than invoice another 2,000, 3,000 euro. Otherwise, you swap another bad regimes. You know, you can have this kind of situations. Third reason why you are losing money is because you're not providing or you're not asking support and tax simulations. Okay, I'm repeating myself. I already talked about the tax simulation in previous point, but the tax simulation itself are useful, especially for Italy. I will explain you why. In Italy, if you exceed the taxation to pay, for example, if you preview to have an income higher than the previous years, then you have to pre-tax the taxation of the current year at the top of the taxes that you have to pay in the previous year. No accountants they simply forget to say this kind of trick, this kind of rule, and you are shocked whenever there is the taxation, the Italian tax file return, because you find yourself paying almost the double taxes, almost the double amount. Why? Because nobody provides you a tax simulation during the previous tax years to understand if you are exceeding the RPF to pay. Because if the RPF of a certain year is higher than the RPF of the previous years, you are then obliged to pre-tax the current year as well. You see? So, and through tax simulation, you understand if you are exceeding or not the RPF taxation. Okay? So, this is an example for Italy, but the tax simulation works also in Portugal with the NHR. It works with Belgium for the expat tax regime. It works with Albania to see if you are still in a 0% profit tax or you are going to exceed the 0% profit tax with a certain amount of invoicing. And then you have to talk to your accountant, provide a tax simulation and say, okay, let me postpone those invoices in next years. And then I'm not jumping to the next tax bracket and I will start paying taxes instead of keep paying zero. This is another example. So I want to suggest you, in this video, here there is not so many details information. Those are just suggestions, but those suggestions are very important. Are the suggestions that we always give to our client, all the people that basically are contacting us. Here in ESENtaxa, we provide you the ordinary accounting service in all these jurisdictions that we cover. Moreover, we provide you a proactive assistance, a proactive support, which is an extra service that we provide you at the top of the ordinary accounting. And you are not obliged to have this service forever, but especially we suggest you to have this extra support in the first phases, in the first moment you relocate to this new country, in the first month or in the first years. What is about this extra support? Basically, we call you. We're going to have email exchange or video call on monthly basis or even quarterly to understand if you realize how much taxes you're going to pay. If you have understood, we want to understand if you understood how the Italian tax system works, if you're moving to Italy, for example, and we are going to discuss together how the business is going and what are the possible tax optimizations that we can apply during the year, before waiting the end of the year, and based on how your business is running, how your business is going, and how your business is invoicing, how much money you're doing. So We can understand together the deductions that we can have in advance. We can suggest you what are the correct behavior or the misbehaviors that you are doing, and we can suggest you to correct the path and stay in working and behaving in a way that the Italian tax agency is not chasing you in the end of the 5 years, because they have the span of time. Same for Belgium, same for tax agency in Portugal, and all the jurisdictions. So I hope this video was useful for you, and if you want to be more updated about the subject, if you want to know how we work on our accounting service, let us know in the description below the video. You will have our email contact. The quote and the prices, of course, change based on the case by case. So just write us an email or reserve a book with us in the description below the video. If you like this kind of content, if you like ESENtaxa, a notification bell, like button, and subscribe to the channel to be always updated whenever we release a new content. See you to the next time. Bye.